So we've got the settings. We're ready to go. We've got the students in there. That's ready to go. And now we are ready to create a Google Classroom assignment. Now I'm going to change classes here since I don't have any students in this class because I really want to show you that you can personalize these assignments. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over here to practice classroom 1 where I know I have students in there and I can still assign stuff. So how do I assign stuff? Look at this stream here. This is like really crazy. All of this stuff that's in here. This is what I tell teachers. This stream here, it's like your Facebook stream or whatever. You don't even need to really look at it. And I'm going to tell you that your kids really aren't going to look at it. Where your kids are going to look, they're going to look over here, what's upcoming and what's due. That's where your kids are probably going to look. They're not going to walk all through here because it's just like a sea of assignments. So what I recommend to teachers to tell students is always go to Classwork. Whether you're a teacher, whether you're a student, always go to Classwork. And Classwork is right up here, right next door to Stream. So I'm going to click on Classwork. And here I am. And you're going to see I have a whole lot of assignments in here. But look over here on the side. I have all of these topics. So if I want to see topic on whale sharks, I've got one assignment that's in my whale sharks topic. This is going to be really helpful, and I'll explain that more once we create our assignment here. Okay, so I'm ready to assign something. I'm ready to get this going. And so how do I do it? You're going to click create. So I click create and you have some options in here and we're going to use assignment. Click assignment. And I'm just going to title this one practice for now, right? That's going to be my title of my assignment. And I can put some instructions in here. Please click on the link below, use the document, whatever it is that I'm going to be putting into this assignment, and then I will be ready to kind of move on to the next step. So we're going to just pretend that I put some instructions in there just for time's sake. And you look here, you're able to use bold, italicize, or underline, and you're able to add bullets to your assignment directions, which is new. They've just added the rich text in there for us. So I'm very excited about that because now we can make those directions just a little more eye-popping for our kids. All right. Down here, we've got things that we can add to the assignment. So if I've already created stuff in my Google Drive, or I know of a video I'm going to bring in from YouTube, or I have a link to something, I'm going to click add. And again, here's my Google Drive, here's the link, and here's YouTube. Let me tell you one you want to stay away from. Is you want to stay away from the file. Because what it's going to do is it's going to upload a file from your device to your Google Classroom, which means you have to think about the end user. Most of our students have Chromebooks. They don't have an Apple machine. They don't have a Windows machine. They have a Chromebook. Because they have a Chromebook, everything should kind of be in Google because that's what works best with a Chromebook. So if I'm uploading a Microsoft Word file, there's a chance that my students may not be able to know how to convert it, first of all, or they may not be able to open it. And with kids, we get one shot. Please open up this assignment, and they can't open it. That's it. They're done. They're not going to try a second or third time to open up that assignment because they already have their excuse. I can't get into the assignment. So I would stay away from file. If I'm an Apple user, I might be using Pages. Chromebooks don't open Pages documents. They open Chrome, Google documents, right? So I, again, stay away from the file one. If you're creating stuff on your desktop, that's great. That's awesome. But put it up into your Google Drive first and convert it into googly stuff. So that way, when your kids go to open it, it will be a seamless process for them. You don't want to make anything harder than it has to be for your students. All right, so first I'm going to add something from my Google Drive. So I'm going to click on Google Drive. And what Google does, because I'm in Google Classroom, is it's going to find my most recent stuff that I've been creating. And it knows that I have been working on a lot of this stuff right here. So I'm going to actually open up this Google document right here. And I'm going to go ahead and insert it. Okay. So this Google document that I've just added, I have a couple of options here that I need to look at. So right now, if I were to assign this right now, the only thing my students could do was to look at this Google document. Just look at this one Google document. What if I want them to write on it? Okay, so let me click on the disclosure arrow. Students can edit. Okay, that's great. But it's one document and it's 30 kids. 30 kids are going to go into this one document. Is that what we really want? Probably not. That might cause some havoc. So my other option here is to make a copy for each student. What that's going to do is when they get the assignment and they click it, it's going to create a copy of that assignment document for them, and it's going to put their name on it for them. So right away, they already own a piece of that document, and then they can fill it out and edit it. Nobody else is going to have access to their document. They're going to be able to do it all on their own. So that is really your best option when you are adding something from Google, is to make a copy for each student. Now, if you're using like Google Slides and you want like everybody to do a slide and you want it all to be together, then you might want to make it so everybody can edit it. And then you just have to put some parameters out there that say like, okay, once you hit a slide, you need to put your name on it and make it your own. And then if you when you go into the slideshow, you see somebody's name on a slide, go to the next slide, go to the next slide. That's what I would do. But for the most part, I would make a copy for each student. That's just kind of that's what I would do. All right, I'm going to go back here to add. And you'll notice I can add a link. So if I want to link to a website, if I want to link to another document that maybe is not something that I own, but it's a link to a textbook, a link to wherever out there on the internet that I want them to go, that it is safe for them to go, I can use a link. Stay away from file. And I can also add YouTube videos. That's really great. One little caveat about those YouTube videos. YouTube has changed their policies, and we have had this happen a few times where teachers have gone into YouTube, they have found a video that they are able to watch when they're on our network, at school. So they know that the filter hasn't stopped us from watching it. It's educational, it's perfect. They're ready to go. They assign it, and then their kids get it, and it's saying that it's blocked for the students, that they don't have access to it. And they're just like, what's going on? We get that call sometimes. The reason that happens is because the person that uploaded that video into YouTube, whoever that person is, they did not check mark made for kids. When you create a video and put it on YouTube, you need to make sure that you check made for kids. If it doesn't say made for kids, it is blocked to our students. You say, well, how am I going to know? It used to be that we could see it on the description, that it would tell us. It doesn't do that anymore. So what I tell teachers to do now is, if they're not sure about a video, have somebody test it for them that is a student on the student side. All they have to do is to see if they can open it. If they can open it, great, fine. Now I can assign it to everybody. That would be one way to do that. Or another way to do that is if you want to display it to everybody in your classroom at that particular time, you can do that. The same thing will happen in Nearpod if you're using Nearpod, that you assign a video, and because it's running through YouTube and Google, because Google owns YouTube, the same thing will happen, that it will not allow them on their devices, but on yours, you will be able to see it because you're a teacher. So just that little bit about YouTube, okay? So when I assign, I have these options here. I really have 3 options. Don't do that link one. That's not a good one for you to do. You can also create. Let's say that you want to create something here on the fly. So you click create, and it's going to give you some options here of things that you can create right now to add to your Google Classroom. All right, right there. So we're good to go there. So I'm going to start moving over here to this side, because on this side we have our, who is this assignment going out to? So I have my practice classroom, which is right here. But if I go on the disclosure arrow, I can assign this to not just this classroom, but I can also assign it to other classrooms. And now all I have to do is put a little check mark by the other classrooms that I want to assign it to as well. Right now, I cannot schedule an assignment. I can only just assign it right this second. And we're going to talk about scheduling here in just a second. So I have it for my practice class and all students. Doesn't necessarily have to go out to all students. If I click on the disclosure arrow, I can check off the all students, and I can say, well, digital needs this and Eric needs this. That's it. Everybody else who's in this classroom is not going to get this assignment. And what that means is only digital and Eric are going to see the assignment, and everybody else isn't even going to know that they got assigned anything. So you could put kids into groups and they wouldn't even know that everybody else has been put into groups. All they know is what their assignment says and what they're supposed to do. That's it. So that makes, we're personalizing a little bit more. We're individualizing our assignments, which is something that we should be doing anyway. We shouldn't be just giving everybody a blanket assignment all the time, because my needs are different than your needs. So we need to start looking at what our kids need. And you know what? These 2 kids really need to work on their math skills. So I'm going to assign this for their math skill. And these other kids, they're having a hard time with vocabulary. So I'm going to assign something to them for vocabulary. Make it count, make it count. All right, so again, I'm going to just go ahead and click all students, go back here. I can change the point value. I can put whatever number I want in there, 37, 42, whatever it is. I recommend putting a due date, so that way they can't argue with Google. It's there. They can't argue with Google. And the topic, you want to create topics. You saw the topics that I had. And when you click on those topics, it's going to filter down so that way your students will only see the assignments that are associated with that topic. So if I created a topic for this, right now I have PE, quiz, science, water cycle, and whale sharks, breakout room 1. If I change it and I said, I'm going to create a topic and we're going to talk about sea creatures. Okay, so then when I create the topic, this assignment will be put into that topic once I assign it. All right, so it's important to use topics. I recommend it. You can only have 100 topics per Google Classroom, so use them wisely. Don't put Monday, August the 16th. Don't do that. What you're going to want to do is because you're going to run out of topics in 100 days. So you're going to want topics that are going to live and are going to last that entire school year. So again, you only have 100 to work with. So be aware of that. All right. And for our assignment as well, if I click the disclosure arrow, I can schedule this assignment. Now, right now, I can only schedule for one class, this class that I'm in right now. They are saying coming September, sometime in September, probably late September, this is going to change so where I will be able to schedule an assignment to go live in several classes at one time. So if I click schedule, I add the date, where I want the assignment to be due, and I add the time, and I can go down to the minute, 8:03, 9:27, whatever those times are, I will be able to put them in there, and I click schedule. So then at 9:27 a.m. on August the 10th, that assignment will go live within this one particular Google Classroom. If I'm out or, I want to have it going because we're going to be doing an assessment, whatever it might be. So you can schedule an assignment. You don't have to assign it right now. But if you do want to assign it right now, you just click the assign button and it will be assigned for whatever students that you selected. And that is how we create an assignment.